afternoon and welcome to the iceHQ Ice Rink in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia. I'm Warren Joy. Roy will run traditional land for the iceHQ Recreational League Division 3 Grand Final. It's the Shenanigans in the light blue versus the Regulators in the browny black. I guess it's a little hard to tell. Regulators at one point did win the prize for the most interesting jersey that's been worn here in the at iceHQ with their Cowboys dress up. But today they have their other Cowboys dress up, so looking resplendent in that indeed. To bring you up to speed on the season so far for these two teams, the Shenanigans finished clear on top of the ladder with a plus-minus of 34 and a rate of points of 29. So they were undefeated in an otherwise very close division. They had 3 ties, but every other game for them was a win. So they come into this game as the absolute hot favourites. The Regulators finished second with 18 points, plus-minus of 6. They're going to be up against it because the Shenanigans have been very, very effective throughout the season. But the Regulators, if anyone can do it, they reckon they're a chance. The Shenanigans are on a 12-game winning streak, and they didn't lose a game all season. They had 3 ties earlier on in the season. The Regulators, on the other hand, well, they have the best defensive record. They've given away a very frugal 1.69 goals per game average, but only narrowly better than the Shenanigans, who've given away 1.75. But the Shenanigans, they can score. On the power play, Shenanigans 14.3%. Regulators have not scored on the power play. On the penalty kill, the Shenanigans 96.3% save, the Regulators 92.1. So both teams with a pretty good penalty kill. The power play for the Shenanigans a bit more effective than the Regulators. Record up to now, in round 1 it was a 2-all draw. In round 2, Shenanigans won 1-0. In round 3, the Shenanigans won 3-2. And in the quarter-final at the start of this week, the Shenanigans won 2-1. So every game between these two teams has been desperately close. In fact, a tie and no more than a 1-goal differential. So it promises to be an absolute ripper. In the net for the Shenanigans is Normie Yan, who is an outstanding goaltender with a save percentage of .931. But in net for the Regulators, the awesome Rick Ashton with a save percentage of .932. So 1/1000th of the difference between the two throughout the season in their goal saving percentages. Doesn't get much closer than 1 for us. We're about to get underway at the moment. The two teams lining up and are ready to go. The Shenanigans in the blue and the Regulators in the sort of browny thing with black. Anyway, puck will be dropped in just a second for this Division 3 Grand Final. Puck dropped and we're underway. One by the Regulators. Richard jumping the puck back to Ong. Ong looking up ice for options. Doesn't see too much. Elects to go cross ice, hard to his defensive partner who looks to play it up the boards. Quick pressure though, forechecking by the Shenanigans, but here comes Botherton for the Regulators. Gets the first shot away, it goes wide. Behind the back of the net now, picking it up Kananga, who's looking for something, but gets dispossessed nicely by the Regulators, but they put the puck behind the net, racing to pick it up for them now. Moody trying to do something, it goes behind the net again harmlessly. The Regulators with good early pressure, dumping it in and forcing the Shenanigans to defend a lot. Bit of push and shove in, the slot puck's loose, but it's almost broken out there. Drew had a bit of a chance, but couldn't get it past the defensive play there of Wandersmith. And the puck is fired on the net. Hits the back of the net with safety netting, and we will have the first stoppage of the game after 1 minute. 0-all. Regulators with 1 shot on the net, and they've had all the play so far in this first minute of the game. First line change. We'll see what happens now if the matchups change a little. Be underway very shortly. Referee waiting to drop the puck. Just getting everyone organised. You should know the rules by now, guys. But face-off really won there by anyone, but the Regulators dumping it in around the back. So the Shenanigans now looking to try and clear the puck. They've got an aggressive forecheck there. The Regulators 2 on deep, keeping it in. And just getting over Liara Green there was the Regulators forecheck. Trying to put the puck back into the slot, but it's owned nicely, Bird. They're now looking up ice, trying to do something, but the Regulators have it. They chip it across the front. Save made Yan. Now the Shenanigans trying to get the puck out once more, but the Regulators doing a great job of keeping them stuck in, but finally the Shenanigans get the puck out. But it's dumped back in again smartly by Pola, who is the father of the team, so to speak. A shot taken on the net there by Ong, but it didn't go. Fired in from the point, but deflected off a leg there was Clark, but he couldn't get enough on it. Camilleri, I'm sorry. Get the names right sooner or later. And bit of neutral zone toing and throwing. Green now for the Shenanigans going back to pick it up. She's been pressed tightly though Regulators doing a great job in this first 2 minutes of getting a lot of pressure on the Shenanigans. Shot from the front, gets around and they score. First goal goes to the Regulators against form, but certainly in terms of the flow of the play, Ryan Clark chipping that one in. On the replay we might see, just got a bit of a backhand on it. We'll see that again in just a moment, maybe not. But regardless, great goal there. Regulators up 1 from 5. Yan couldn't do too much about it. It was a nice chip from the player, loose in the slot. Get underway now. A puck restarted. Face-off one nicely by the Shenanigans, who'll be looking to get some redress and get that goal back smartly. Regulators go cross ice out of D. They get away with it. Just trying to get through on the burst and nullifying the icing. Racing through to pick it up is Kindle. Kindle swamped though by blue jerseys. Pinching in though, Ong manages to fly the puck back in. It goes across the front. It's just bounced off the side of the net there. Norma Yan in the net keeping a good eye on it. Regulators doing a great job of keeping the puck on the net. Still unable to clear the puck out. The Shenanigans now forced back deep into their own zone. Aggressive forecheck by the Regulators. Trying to clear the puck up ice now. Natalie Lesev. She does manage to get it to Morton. Morton now with a little bit of room. He's being pressed though by three brown jerseys. Going back now to pick it up. Monda Smith being pressed tightly by Lesev, but gets the puck out of the zone, forcing the Regulators to have to touch up. Sorry, the Shenanigans to touch up. Lesev now looks up ice. She hasn't got much help. She looks cross ice, and that's about all she has. So she lobs it in, but Ong was in the way. And runs it round the back of the net, rimming, trying to get on high. Kananga though picks it up off the boards, gets onto his forehand, tries to get the shot, but there's too much in the way. Regulators shutting that one down. Puck across the middle of the neutral zone. Just chipped back beautifully there by 11. And now the puck is cleared out of the zone once more by the Regulators. Just a cheeky backhander there by 11 across D. A little bit lucky to get away with it. You might not have realised that Richard was there for the Regulators trying to pick that one up. Great forechecking pressure though, but Kananga now has a little bit of room, gets around the defence, gets it across his forehand, but the pass just a little bit wide there, not able to pick it up, Jacobs. And we will have a stoppage for an offside. Lewis Goodman just waiting to get everyone organised. Pressure there in this first 4 minutes of this first period. It's been almost all Regulators, 7 shots on the net, none yet through to the Shenanigans. It's an unusual position for them to find themselves in. They've been undefeated throughout the entire season. Kananga now comes back, picks up the puck, looking up ice for movement. Not seeing much, most of these players standing still. So he elects to dump it, and it goes in deep, but it'll be picked up by the Regulators. Pick it up behind the net. Nice little reversal, good forecheck though. Shenanigans trying to shut it down. Regulators now clearing the puck out of the zone, and they do. It's just put out, but Drew picked it up on the blue line and chipped it back in, just keeping his team in contention. Gets a shot now, Drew gets across, has to go around at the back of the net. Austin watching it, Kananga scoots and scores. Kananga loose in the slot. And we are tied up at 1 goal apiece. You see this on the replay, there's a wrap around. Ashton has to respect that. Kananga gets a bit of space, picks it up on his forehand. And the diving Ashton could do nothing about that one. There was nothing but net. So we are tied up at 1 goal apiece. After 10 minutes and 20 seconds of this first period. It's been pretty good. Regulators have had most of the flow, but Shenanigans showing that you only need to get it once across the line. And now they win the face-off nicely back to Drew, but Drew's dispossessed. Forecheck now by the Regulators on the forehand, shoots. So, yeah, Normie Yan the save. Shot there was taken by Ryan Clark, who got a good run on it. He's got Parsons waiting to, Daniel Levy waiting to charge in. As the Regulators just organise where the wingers are going to be. Face off though won by the Shenanigans, and they chip it clear out of the zone. Last line of defence at Ong just chips it back in wisely. Offside though, but not, it is called. Just a little bit premature in the entry there was Clark. He didn't realise that his other player was quite off the ice. He's not quite off the other side of the blue line. Inside view of it right here, and the referee made exactly the right call. Clark wasn't happy about it, but until you watch the replay and you'll see. Face off won by the Regulators. And they eventually chip it past Green, who got a stick on it, but ineffectively shot fired in by Kindle, but didn't get enough on it. This fan on the shot came through the slot. Kindle was there, but couldn't get onto it. Now, Monda Smith lost control of it, comes back up, and it's picked up by another player with a 0 on their back for the Shenanigans. Play Shenanigans with numbers. They'll try and get a shot on the net, but there's too many bodies back there for the Regulators. Green now with the puck at her feet. She's a little slow getting the shot away. Ends up just chipping it in, but it only goes as far as the Regulators do, who chip the puck out. Last line there of defence, Levin just chips it back in again, forcing a turnaround. But now the Regulators come with a little bit of speed. This time they elect to throw it in deep, but it's caught nicely by John O'Levin, who dumps it down deep the other end for an icing. And the puck will be brought back. If you're not familiar with the rule of icing, if you play the puck from your side of the rink, so your half, and it crosses the goal line at the other end without anyone touching it, it is the sin of icing, and you are brought back for a defensive zone face-off. In most leagues, the sting in the tail is you're not allowed to get a change. In the Recreational League here, we allow changes. It's not quite as bad as you might otherwise suspect. Players can get a change in that instance. Face-off, they're won by the Regulators on a chip through, but it's picked up by the Shenanigans. And going back now to pick it up for them is Morton. Morton trying to find an option. Trying to get it up to Moody for the Regulators instead. Is busting through the middle and possibly getting a tripping penalty there, but the referee's not putting a hand up. Where the Regulators and the Shenanigans dump it down deep, but that it will go for icing again. And so it will be brought back. I'm not sure who it was who cleared that puck out. It will be brought all the way back for another defensive zone face-off. To see where the Regulators place their defensive players, if they chip in or if they stay up on the blue line. Both of them chipping in quite a long way, giving the Shenanigans a good chance if they can get the puck quickly from the face-off. They're a little bit slow on retrieving it. Ong can't get onto it. He's now got trouble. He's got Lesev chasing him. Lesev trying to shut down the option. Ong wisely brings it around the back. The forecheck by the Shenanigans is there. Regulators caught their two players deep behind the net, which is leaving a bit vulnerable to the slot. But they managed to clear it out. Just keeping the puck on the stick there. Jacobson tries to fire it in, but it's broken out now. Regulators going back the other way with speed. Good work there, Camilleri. Brotherton. The puck now kept in. Wasn't quite able to be cleared there by Kanagi. Scored that earlier goal. And now breaking it out, or attempting to at least, was Bird. Bird dispossessed, and the Regulators have the puck. Aggressive forechecking pressure though, just trying to bust through everything, and successfully Richards clears the puck out of his own, but it's going to go for icing. He did play it from his own side, and no one touched it across the goal line, so back it goes. And the Regulators, with their first defensive zone face-off of the game, will get a chance to see where the Shenanigans put their D up on the blue line. Do they pitch in more aggressively? Time will tell, and that's the only way we're going to know how that one is going to pan out. They do pinch in a bit. Green putting in a couple of metres off the blue line. Gets the puck on a backhand. Looks like it's going to be stolen from her, and it is, but luckily she had back-checking help. Looking around now with the puck being pressed tightly, stolen by the Regulators. It's picked up by Clark. Clark fires it in ineffectively and wide, but forechecking pressure coming in to Levy. Levy putting pressure on the Shenanigans. Norman Yan with the puck bobbling around in front of him. He managed to make the first one. Juicy rebound, no one there for it. And Paola goes back now to pick it up for the Regulators, but he leaves the puck behind. I don't think that was intentional. Now the Regulators try and blast it up the boards. They find Clark, who's got a little bit of room. He winds, he shoots. Yeah, and gets the pads in the way. He gets another chance now if he can steal it from Kananga, but he doesn't. Driving to pick it up, but unsuccessfully. The Shenanigans now with an opportunity, but fortunately the Regulators managed to get back fast enough that they could shut down the chance. And they bring the puck in, and they shoot. Yan sees the puck go over his shoulder. Kananga now looping around the back. He's got tight forechecking pressure. He's being pressed very hard indeed there by Clark. And Clark ends up winning the puck. Puck goes into the slot. No one there for the Regulators, and the Shenanigans will clear it out. They get the puck up ice, get it as far as Drew. Drew couldn't hold it, but in the end manages to clear the puck out. Dancing with it nicely through the slot. Picked up Kananga, tries to get it on his forehand, shoots, but it goes high and wide. And the Regulators will try and rim it out. Kept in on the boards though. Not able to clear it yet, the Regulators. This time the puck only went as far as Lesev, who dumped it back in again. Sorry, that was Drew who held the blue line. Another chance now for the Regulators to break it out if they can, and they do, but it's a bouncing, tumbling puck. A misstep there, possibly, not a trip. They get onto the backhand, forehand shot through traffic. Norman Yan got his feet in front of the way of Kindle's shot there. Second chance now, Camilleri. And in the end, Kananga ends up with the puck and dumps it all the way down, but that will go for another icing. And the Shenanigans will have to get another change. It's been all Regulators for the first 12 minutes of this period, with the exception of the one goal that the Shenanigans picked up from Kananga. But Regulators 13 shots on the net to the Shenanigans just the 3. They have had most of the flow of this game and certainly all the pressure. They're doing a great job of keeping the Shenanigans pinned down in their defensive zone and piling on the pressure. Normally Yan with a Tara work to do for the Shenanigans. Winning the puck and kicking it through there was Richard. The Shenanigans look to break it out with speed, and they do, but just losing it in his footing was Jacobs. Regulators just waiting for Richards to get back on side. They do now. Richards just misses on the drop pass. Maybe it wasn't the drop. Paola fires it in from distance. Yan forced to make a kick save to reduce the rebound, but the Regulators were having to be reset because they're all caught offside. Now they come in again, the Shenanigans. Pinch though made Paola, but he doesn't manage to steal the puck. Now it breaks out. Paola a bit slow to get back up to his feet. The puck moving in deep. Fanning on the clearance though was Ali. And it's picked up by Brotherton, who, with a nice bit of puck work, gets the puck across to Richard, who shoots through traffic, but it deflects off the pads of Ali. Second chance, though, not successful. Regulators with another chance to get a shot on, but they drag the puck out of the zone. That's Moody there, who had it down at his feet. Ong now racing to pick it up for the Regulators. Looks up ice for options. Sees Richard with a mile of space, but he couldn't quite get onto it. And the puck now dumped back down the other end. Ong looking for more options, but we're just playing a bit of table tennis in front of the scorer's box at the moment, but it ends up on the stick of Maskowitz. He was driven into the corner. Comes back up to the Shenanigans D, who fire it in high. And Ashton says, thank you very much. I'll glove that one. I'll glove them all day. And we will have defensive zone face-off. 2 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the first. 1 goal apiece. Shenanigans 4 shots on the net. Regulators the one. That shot that was just fired on Ashton doesn't count as a shot because it wasn't going to go in the net. Ashton will wipe it on his statistics, but it's not going to work out for you. Sorry, young man. The scorer has to think the puck is going to go in the net, and that one most certainly wasn't. Puck now picked up nicely by the Regulators. They clear it out. It's a 1-on-none. Here comes Anderson. He's got room. He gets onto his forehand. He shoots and he scores. Beautiful breakaway from the defensive zone face-off there. Greg Anderson makes that one absolutely unstoppable there, Norma Yan. It's the defensive zone face-off resulting in a quick breakout. And with 1 minute to play in the first, Regulators have a 1-goal lead from 15 shots on the net, and it has been all Regulators so far this period. The Shenanigans with a bit of work to do to get themselves back into this game. The scoreboard's helping them, but the flow is most definitely in the favour of the Regulators at the moment. Lassev there trying to clear the puck out, both Lassevs. So husband and wife combination there for the Shenanigans. Puck kept deep in the corner. Lassev circling around trying to find options. But the Regulators now break it up. They chip it past Green. Pick it up there through Melrose, but coming back the other way in a hurry, Drew. Drew gets onto his forehand, takes a shot, but it's blocked nicely. Kindle got a stick in the way and just broke it up. Regulators coming again up through the middle. Green can't keep it in there, chips over her stick. Pressure, enormous amounts of pressure being put on Drew, and in the end all he can do is dump it in deep. 20 seconds to go in the period. Drew doing all the work there for the Shenanigans. He's still got the puck and circles around, tries to put it in the slot, but there's bodies in the way. Good contest there by the Regulators defence. Just 10 seconds to go now. Green gets the puck up on the blue line, dumps it back in. Deep in the corner, just 4 seconds now to play in the period. Shot goes just a little bit wide. Ashton wisely chooses to just poke the puck behind the net and run the clock down. And at the end of the first, it's been a lopsided game in terms of shots on the net. It's been almost all Regulators, very few chances indeed to the Shenanigans, but Kananga shows you only need one good chance to make the scoreboard get rattled. So we have Regulators 2, Shenanigans 1 at the end of the first. No penalties, which is good. Goals scored in that first period. Clark with one early on in the piece, and then Levy with, it's not showing up on my system here, but it will in a moment. Second goal was scored by, still not showing up on my system here at the moment. I'll tell you the names in just a second. I'm confident that it was Richard. Been wrong before, and we'll do so again. Regardless, we're about to get underway in the second. Sorry, it was Clark with one for the Regulators, and the other one has not yet shown up on our statistics tracking system, but it will show up at some point. I'll be able to bring you up to speed on the situation. Second period about to start. 16 minutes, 3 periods of 16. If If we go into 2 minutes to go with 2 minutes less goal differential, it goes to stop time. And it's all tied up at the end of regulation. We have 5 minutes and 3-on-3 sudden death. And then we have penalty shootouts. Coaches are allowed to call one timeout and 1 minute in the grand finals here in the Rec League at iceHQ. Regulators get another shot in. Firing the cannon was Brotherton. But now it's broken out, but not neatly by the Shenanigans. They find themselves in an unusual position here of not having the lead. Again, they have won. They have been undefeated throughout the entire season and had an incredibly good record. Certainly a team that's right for promotion, but at this particular point, against form, Ong takes a shot from the distance. He bounces off traffic, gets stuck in the slot, playing it up high now. Kananga with a pick. Managed to pick it up, but racing in now to pick it up is Wanda Smith. Wanda Smith goes into the corner. And the Regulators will play it up high. Picking it up now is Brotherton, who gets another chance to put it into Normie Yan. Yan says, no, puck's mine. We will hang on to it and see how you go from there. Levy got the assist. Anderson the second goal. And Clark got the first one for the Regulators. The system finally managed to catch up. Regardless, we're about to have things go again. Regulators within attacking zone face-off. Puck played back in front of Yan, who watches it go into the corner. It's picked up by Jacobs, who looks up ice. Doesn't see too much in the way of options. Pick there taken by the Regulators, but here come the Shenanigans with numbers. The Regulators with great desperation in defence, getting back quickly. You can see how fast that's working. There was Hall there, who just got caught a little bit on the pick. We're going to see probably a penalty here for some contact, but I don't think the referees have got their hands up for it. Bird tries to get a shot through traffic, but it bounces off legs and won't go through. But now a chance for Calabria, but that won't go either. The puck fired out of the zone. Kept in, though, by the Shenanigans. Finally, though, the Regulators clear the puck out as far as Drew, who just dumps it back in while his team get a change or two. Ashton just plays it behind his back casually. Playing it back up, tries to find Levy. Levy chips it out of the zone. He was looking for Melrose. Puck is rimmed all the way back in hard by the Shenanigans, but it's picked up by Ashton very calmly indeed as he plays back to his D, who lobs the puck out of the zone, and it's going to tumble all the way down to Normie Yan at the other end, who's going to watch it not quite cross the line. So no icing on that one. It didn't cross the goal line. A nice play there by the Regulators, just turning everything around. But here come the Shenanigans again. Blasting in to get a shot, but it goes harmlessly across the front. Camilleri for the Regulators waits patiently, tried to play it up to Melrose, but picked off by Shenanigans. Levy tried to put the puck across the front. Ashton there. Camilleri again being harassed, but hooks the backhand, gets it up as far as Green. Green's still battling for it, but can't keep the puck in. Shenanigans will dump it in, but they're all offside, so they have to reset, giving Camilleri loads of time. He looks up high, sees the option, plays it up high, finds the connection. And he's done a beautiful pass there to Melrose. Melrose fires through traffic, loose puck in the slot, but it's picked up in the end by Yan after he got a rebound, but then managed to get his glove on it. And 12 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the second. We are 2-1 lead to the Regulators. 18 shots to 7, and the ice is definitely tilting in the direction the Regulators want it to go. Shenanigans will need to get another one back to square it up and give themselves a good chance. Regulators playing lights out at the moment. Going round now to try and break the puck out, but great forechecking pressure by the Regulators on the Shenanigans defence. Now they look up ice. They see Kananga, just chips it off his feet. He's racing into the corner. He's got defence on him. He's got Paola. Paola lifts the stick, jams Kananga up and pushes him away from the puck. A big strong man there manages to win the battle. Puck bobbles out, however, loose. Green with a chance, comes in, tries to shoot. Instead, elects to dump it into the corner. Regulators now just trying to play the puck ice, but Morton will get onto it, backhands it back into the corner. Puck is flung across the front, but it bounces out. And Drew will pick it up for the Shenanigans, looking up ice. Lesev coming back to get onside, so he paused. Ong now reaching in for the Regulators. Kananga goes in as well, everyone losing their feet in the corner. Referees managing to stay just out of the way. Through sheer force of will, the Regulators managed to clear the puck out of the zone, and it's Brotherton now with a bit of room, gets past the check of Morton. But now the Shenanigans have a chance to chip the puck up. Regulators in a bit of trouble if the Shenanigans can get the puck. They pinched in and were a bit exposed, but fortunately for them, they got away with it. Richard now with a bit of room, tries to get around Green, does. Backhand, forehand, shoots. And the save. Nice work there, Normie Yan, he read the play. Shenanigans, Regulators with another chance with a cheeky backhand, but it didn't go And the Shenanigans will clear it up ice. They've got Kananga looking for the stretch pass, but it's been watched closely by Wondersmith. And in the end, the Shenanigans will dump the puck in, and it will be an icing, and it will be brought back. And with just under 11 minutes to go in the second, the Regulators 2, Shenanigans 1. 19 shots thus far to the Regulators on it, to just the 7 to the Shenanigans. Normie Yan has had a tower of work to do. He's made 17 saves, but he hasn't made the 19 that he needed to so far. A couple of great chances to that lovely breakaway earlier by Anderson was a ripper. Kananga couldn't get a handle on that one. Regulators will have control of it in the neutral, circling around, taking a risky cross-ice pass, and he gets picked. Was Wondersmith. Now he goes back into the corner, looks to play the puck up ice. Kananga battling with him hard. Shenanigans put the puck through the slot, but it is gobbled up by Ashton with a little bit of help there from Hall. And both teams will get changes. Bird pinching in a little bit for the Shenanigans as they load up their play. Puck comes back up to Bird. Bird hesitates and just dumps it into the corner harmlessly in the end as the Regulators look to break it out. It's caught deep in the corner. Bird, though, ends up with a shot puck again, but he's ridden off the puck there by Camilleri. Camilleri chips it forward. He's found Clark. Clark going into the corner. Tries to get the puck and centre it in the slot. There's one player there now unmarked, but the Shenanigans pick up on it and start to own the slot. Racing in now to try and do something with it. Clark, as they're battling away in the corner. Clark tries to clear it up, but it's picked up by the Shenanigans. A little bit of a pause. Maybe everyone thought the referee was going to ring the bell. He's now Ong in the last line of the defence for the Regulators. Calmly dumps it up, finds Camilleri. Camilleri with it his feet. He's being pressured. Loses possession, goes back to Ong once more, not deliberately. Ong goes cross ice, gets away with it. Shenanigans just chipping it in. Nice piece of poke checking there by Calabria. We have a hand up now for a penalty, and it's going to be on the Shenanigans. Ashton leaving the ice, giving the extra man to the Regulators. And Shenanigans cannot score at this point in time, because if they touch the puck, the referee will blow the whistle. It's a delayed penalty. So this is a great opportunity for the Regulators. They've got 6 on 5 and can't be scored against unless they score an own goal, which can be done. But regardless, Ong tries to chip the puck up, gets to Bird. Bird gets a stick on it. The referee will blow the whistle. And then we will have a penalty. The penalty will be on Zach Jacobs, who will sit 2. Very clever play there. Ashton saw as soon as the hand went up, he was straight off the ice, giving the Regulators the extra player advantage. And it can't be scored against, which also run the clock down. When you've got a lead, that's what you like. 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the second. Now the power play goes to the Regulators. Shenanigans will want to try and get one back, but also want to maybe get another player on the ice. You can have 4 guys, you don't need just the 3. Asev wakes up and gets out onto the rink. Throws himself up. Shenanigans would love a short-handed goal, but they've got to get possession first. It goes up to Wondersmith. He flings it in hard and they score! Wondersmith with a beautiful shot there from the blue line. It was low and hard, exactly what you're looking for. Just gets it onto his forehand, calmly waits, winds it in. It's a low shot, gets a little bit of a tipping. It looks like it may just have come off the stick there of Drew from the Shenanigans. It doesn't matter who it comes off, it crosses the line. And the Regulators, 3 goals to the Shenanigans 1. Regulators scoring on the power play. I'll be happy about that, and I think they've just broken through the penalty kill of the Shenanigans, which hasn't been perfect. Certainly it's worse now from this game. It's now picking it up and losing their footing. We're going to have a penalty this time on the Regulators. And it looks like it's going to be Daniel Hall who will sit 2, and I think it's for a trip. I'll know in just a second. Looks like an elbow possibly. So Hawley will sit. Now the Shenanigans with the numerical advantage. Can they use their power play? It's been reasonably effective, 14.3%. The Regulators up till now had a totally unsuccessful power play, but they just changed that. They've got their first one. So that fixes up their percentage, but they'll need to defend fiercely here to maintain that 2-goal advantage as they come into the end of the period. Firing the shot across, beautiful save there, Ashton. There was a shot in from the slot. He didn't go. Clearing the puck out, but keeping it in there was Ali. Ali chips it across to his D partner, who winds and shoots. Ashton's got a loose, bobbly rebound out the front. Manages to pick it up. And not terribly happy about the play in the slot. Drew, who gets up and tries to push Paola around, but I don't think that's going to work. And we're going to get a 4-on-4 now, or possibly a 4-on-3. As heading into the box for the Shenanigans is Ben Drew, and heading into the box for the Regulators is Chris Paola. So we'll be 4-on-3 for about a minute and a bit, depending on how long it takes everyone to get themselves organised. Means there's a lot of ice. The key 4-on-3 and so forth is possession. You must have the puck. If you give the puck away, it doesn't help. Both teams, well, in particular the Regulators, probably fairly happy about this delay while the referees get themselves organised. He was running down the penalty on Hall. He's now got less than a minute to sit. He's only had to sit effectively about 10 seconds of it. Puck drop now. Regulators win it, but it goes to Kanaga. Puck flung in deep now, and it's Kindle trying to put some pressure on them. As the Regulators, here they come. They've got two in front. Kanaga picks the puck up. He scored that first goal. Gets onto his forehand. Chips it through. Nice work. Ong just managed to break it up. Camilleri got a stick on it, and it's just bobbling around. Camilleri will be looking to clear the puck up the ice if he can. Now he's got Ali, though, on the blue line for the Shenanigans. Gets it onto his backhand, chips it across, find his D partner, who winds, fires it low, save Ashton. Second save Ashton. Ong just lucky enough there to break up Kanaga's shot. Kanaga now has the puck, turns and rims it round the back, but gives away the puck in the process. Ong will pick it up now for the Regulators. Just 15 seconds to go on the Hall penalty. Kanaga now looking to pick it up again, and Ong looks to dump the puck out of the zone, but it's kept in by Ali. Ali winds, goes across for Kanaga. Kanaga couldn't get a stick on it. We are back to 4-on-4 now. The Hall penalty over. He almost picks up the puck straight out of the box, but leaves it behind. Ali now being forechecked tightly, but the Shenanigans will be looking to get a change. They've been on the ice for a long time. Now they dump it in deep, the Regulators, through Hall, who races over to get a change. He's going in to try and pick it up. It was Kindle. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second period. 3-1 the lead to the Regulators. We have Paola and Drew sitting 2 minutes apiece with just about 35 seconds to go, 4-on-4, and then they'll come out simultaneously and be back to 5-on-5 hockey. When anyone scores a goal, it won't change how that pans out. 4-on-4, a little bit of extra room. Puck just chipped back and won by the Regulators, who throw it in deep. Bird for the Shenanigans, trying to go back and make something happen. Circles around. He's got forechecking pressure on him, though, nicely by Anderson. But he's got Zachary, who tries to get onto his forehand. It bobbles across the front. Lucky there to clear it out. The Regulators dancing with disaster there, but Jacobs couldn't get onto it. We've got 3 seconds to play on the penalties, and we are back to 5-on-5 hockey as it is just dumped in deep by Wanda Smith. And it'll be brought back for a face-off just outside the Regulators' defensive zone. Anderson did a great job there on that 4-on-3 kill for a little bit of time there. He had to make one particularly good save. And it was a big juicy rebound, but short numbers means you can't necessarily crowd the slot in the way you would like. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey now with 3 minutes to play in the first one. Back by the Shenanigans. It's picked up. Drew dumps it in nicely on a backhand, but it'll be picked up by Paola. Just back on after his penalty. He tries to get the puck up ice. He's contained, though. Can't quite get through the forechecking pressure, but manages to get enough of a body in the way. The Regulators fire the puck across the front of the net, and it's chipped in. They're very lucky to get away with that one, indeed. Sometimes when you're under pressure, you do that sort of dumb stuff. Paola now again pressed tightly into the boards, trying to clear the puck out. They're pinned up against it. The referees will say enough of that. We're going to get a hold. The question is on who? Lewis Quidlan thinks that it was Chris Paola, so Paola is back in the box. He doesn't agree, but the referees see what they see, and she's calling him for a hold. So we'll be finishing the period with the Shenanigans on another power play, and the Regulators hit them out and take the. It'll be 2 minutes, so almost exactly to the drop. Puck will be dropped. So we're at the end of the penalty with about 1 second left. Puck is cleared out of the zone nicely, though, and picking up now Ali for the Shenanigans, tries to get past the pressure. Doesn't get it past Richard, though, who is battling with it on the corner. He's got Ong helping him out. They're looking, the Regulators stacking that side. It's a bit risky if the Shenanigans get the puck through the net, but they don't. Wanda Smith tries to pick the puck up, but only goes as far as the D, who keep it in. Now here comes Richard. He's got room. Gets around one check. He's got help too. Gets onto his backhand. Chips it across the front. Connection just not quite able to be made. Regulators now in a bit of trouble as here come the Shenanigans with numbers. They've got to move. They've got a bit of room. Zach now with the puck tries to fire it across. Ashton watches it harmlessly into the corner. Hall now looking to clear the puck out of the zone if he can. He chips it, but doesn't get it past the Shenanigans player. They got one loose in the slot. They had there temporarily in Rafe, but they couldn't get it to him. And now hoiking it with a lovely lofted backhand was Brotherton, who just flung it deep. Regulators racing over to get a change in a hurry. They want fresh legs. 1 minute to go on the penalty kill. Nice work and good pressure, Moody. But Rafe picks it up, gets past his own player there, and Lassev puck gets stuck in a million feet. And it will be Moody now with the puck, who goes around the back of the net, looking to rim it hard. He does. There's no one on the point for the Shenanigans. And the puck will go down almost all the way to the other end. Just 35 seconds to play in the second. 2-goal lead to the Regulators. Not what anyone would have suspected, but they've done incredibly well. Now racing to pick it up is Camilleri, who just switches nicely onto his backhand. Caught the Shenanigans waiting, but Pavel was there. Now Ong, though, with the puck. He manages to clear it out of the zone. Not the neatest, but it'll do. A shot flung across the front there by Clark. Another chance now, the Regulators on the penalty kill, getting more shots than the Shenanigans are. One would have picked this one. Instead of waiting for the puck up high for the Shenanigans. But at the end of the second, Shenanigans got a few more shots on now. It's up to 15 from a fairly paltry first period. But the penalty will be over, back to 5-on-5 hockey at the end of the break. Not quite sure why they brought Proler back over. He is now clear of the penalty. But anyway, Ashton doing a great job in the net for the Regulators. We know he's an elite calibre goaltender, and he's certainly showing us that at the moment. Norma Yan doing a great job too. He's been exposed on a couple of occasions, though, his defence, just letting players get away on breakaways, and you can't do much about that when it happens. So Anderson with one, Richard with one. System will catch up with the other one at some point in the not too distant, but it's 3-1 the difference at the moment. Last period of this Division 3 grand final. Shenanigans were well clear on top of the ladder. They haven't lost a game all season. They've had 3 ties and 12 wins. Sorry, and 12 wins on the trot. 3 ties and 13 wins in total. They finished off with a plus-minus of 34, which is a huge advantage. So the Regulators are here on a mission. They're certainly showing the Shenanigans what happens when you commit to your defensive structure and pour on the forechecking pressure, which is exactly what they've done. Can the Shenanigans get themselves back in this game quickly? Face off one, Regulators. Trying to control the puck. Ong looking up ice, tried to find a connection, just chipping it through. Parsons has room, he gets onto his forehand, he shoots. Yan the save. It was a good option. He went post side, trying to sneak it between Yan's arm and the goal. The goalpost wouldn't quite go, but it was a good option. The Shenanigans just giving a little bit of room, but they did force him wide. That's what they need to do. Lining up now, face off Kindle on his forehand. Will he try for a shot on the net? Will he try and win it back to his D in Wondersmith? He does try and win it back. But there's Shenanigans' feet in the way. The puck cleared out of the zone. Ong just chips it back in again. Wasn't much else he could do there. He's now playing it up ice, trying to do something. Bird tries to chip it past the blue line defence of the Regulators, who did a good job of holding that. Kananga couldn't make the connection with a stretch pass across the front of him. Regulators going, pick it up in the corner. They play it up high. Bird, though, tries to chip it in. He was being pressed tightly by Kindle. Ong now chips it up high, tries to get it past and out, but Kananga ends up with the puck. Being very tightly pressed, though. Can't get past Ong, and Ong in the end steals it. We're going to get a penalty on... possibly on Ong there. Yeah, Ong's going to do 2 by the look of it. Maybe for a hook or for an interference. He was battling tightly there with Kananga. In that situation, the defending player is always at a disadvantage. It's been done for a hold. So the Regulators back to the penalty kill. It's been effective for them so far. They're going to need to make sure that they can be resolute this time around and clear the puck out of the zone quickly. They get the puck, get possession, dump it out of the zone. They fire it in deep. Going back to pick it up is Drew. Drew looks up ice, trying to find options. Does find a nice connection as they loop around, but leaving the puck behind briefly was Ali, which gave the Regulators a chance to disrupt that movement. Breaking up down there, Moody, who tries to get the puck out. It's chipped up. Camilleri just tried to hook the backhand, but it wouldn't go. Ashton, on the other hand, gets a blocker onto it and went up high. Didn't hit anything in particular. And here come the Regulators on the poke. They manage to get the puck. They don't manage to get the puck out of the zone. It's Kipke and Ali, who now gets on his backhand, goes forehand, shoots. Ashton the save. Once more gets his body in the way, reading that position very, very nicely indeed with 13 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the third and final period of this Division 3 Grand Final. Here at iceHQ, the Regulators are on the penalty kill for another minute. On having to sit it out. One of their better defensemen as well. They miss him on the PK, but the Shenanigans will need to get some goals. They need to get him in a hurry. Camilleri just jumping the gun there a little bit on the movement, but again, it runs the clock down, and that's not such a bad thing for them. The referee forced to reset. 13 minutes now to play. Just 45 seconds to go on the penalty. Camilleri now blasting in, trying to disrupt the Shenanigans and forcing them to turn around and go back the other way, which just helps them run the clock down now. As Levy tries to come up with the puck, tumps it up the ice again, looking for Camilleri. Ends up with Green, who chips it in, finds Lev again. Now Camilleri just gets around the pressure, has more time I think than he realises. Chips it up deep. It's picked off there by Levy though. And that's Pavel who tries to get around the defence there of Cole. I've probably got a bit of body in the way. Two players coming to a fairly sturdy collision. Now it's picked up, but we have a whistle. And it looks like it's going to... Well, it might have been an offside. We'll find out in just a moment. I'm quite sure what that one was for. Referee's having a little bit of a chat. That works in favour of the Regulators. Every time the referee stops for 30-second chat, it takes away time for the Shenanigans to score. So if you're a Regulator, you're really happy about that. If you're a Shenanigan, perhaps a little bit less so. Penalty will be over on the drop of the puck. On will be straight on. And jumps out of the box straight into the game. So we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Regulators with a successful kill. With a little bit of help from some delayed play. He's just trying to blast it through everyone. Wondersmith, he looks across, tries to find an option. Went wide. Got a shot away and it was a good one, but not on the target. Up high on the set, slot goes past everyone. Kananga couldn't make the connection either. As Ong now back on after his penalty. Chips it backhand across to his partner there in Parsons. Parsons finds a connection in Kindle. Kindle across. Beautiful play, but it's picked off in the end by Kananga. He gets the puck down in his feet, gets a bit of room. He's isolated on his own, and it's picked up now Kindle, who goes round behind the net and has a bit of room. Plays it up the boards. Finds Melrose, who's pressed tightly, but Melrose made the connection in the end, looking for a player moving up the middle, but not seeing it was Kindle. And now Kananga plays it back to the D for the Shenanigans, who play up ice. And they find Drew. Drew's been pressed by Ong. Ong's going to do two for that, almost definitely. Yan was moving off the ice, but didn't have enough time to go to the numerical advantage. The Shenanigans will be on the power play once more. Ong will be sitting in the box once more. Familiar territory for Ong. He's been in there once already so far for this game, but he's now evened it up with Paolo. The penalty count for the Regulators creeping up, giving away great opportunities to the Shenanigans, which they will need to sort out. They want to make sure they win this game. Just 10 minutes to play in the period. Shenanigans with possession. They fire from the distance. Ashton watches it. Ashton's been lights out so far. He's been superb. 17 shots and just the one goal. You can say shut out because it's not going to happen for him. Battling behind the puck, battling behind net now. The Regulators with the puck. All they need to do is dump it down the other end and run the clock, but they're not successful at doing that yet. Good pressure though coming in. Richard now with a chance to clear it out. Camilleri, and it didn't have much on it, just a little bit of a dribble, but it got past the defence. Now the Shenanigans looking to try and pack back us and get past the forecheck of Richard. Just fanning on the clearance. Now it comes back. Rafe with the puck. Rafe loses it and goes deep into attack. Regulators doing a great job on the penalty kill. They're getting more shots than the Shenanigans are at the moment. Now the Shenanigans with a bit of time and space. They try and play the puck up. It's ahead of Rafe. Rafe gets around Camilleri, gets a bit of room, racing in to put some pressure on him in the corner though was Brotherton. And now playing the puck up the ice. The Regulators clear it once more. Shenanigans getting frustrated. They haven't been able to take advantage of this minute so far of the Ong penalty. Second Ong penalty now. They've got some room. Starting to get some movement happening. But they're also short a player. I'm pretty sure they can have another one on if they're paying attention. And finally they wake up. Kananga will come on the ice. So instead of it being 4-on-4, it's now 5-on-4. They need to manage their bench a little bit better, the Shenanigans. Kananga now with a bit of room. Circles around trying to find some space. Nice holding of the blue line there though by the Regulators. Kananga gets past one, gets onto his forehand, shoots. Puck's loose in the slot, but the Regulators get there first. There's a good option there. Kananga got around two and got the shot away, created a beautiful rebound. But the Regulators send the puck to Moe and get it out of the zone 14 seconds to go on the Ong penalty. One great scoring opportunity, but Ashton did the job. And the Regulators' desperate defence shut it down. But here they come again. Bird now tries to get past the pressure of Paul. Gets it onto his backhand, puts it into the slot. There's players diving all over the place, but it doesn't help because the puck is still behind the net. And we're back to 5-on-5. Shot fired. Ashton says it goes harmlessly behind him as Drew now tries to do something constructive behind the back of the net. It's stuck down deep in the corner. Regulators starting to feel like they might just win this one. 8 minutes to play, 2 goals the margin. They chip the puck down the other end, racing back to pick it up. Bird. It's got pressure on him. Cycles around, trying to get around the forechecking pressure of Moody. Moody doing a great job of shutting down and keeping the Shenanigans under enormous amounts of pressure. The clearance from him just manages to get past his stick as Morton dumps the puck in deep. Camilleri will go and pick it up from Ashton, who's playing behind the net. Camilleri battling with it, trying to get the puck to Levy, who turns around and shoots, but the goal was off its mooring. The referee had blown the whistle. If you are a Regulators fan around about now, you're loving this because it's going to take another 30 seconds off the clock while the goal gets reset. Clock won't stop. A little delay of the game works in favour at the moment of the team that is leading until we get to 2 minutes to go, when it will go to stop time. And then that all changes because there is a 2-goal differential at the moment. So if the Shenanigans get another one or even another 2, then we will go to stop time for the last 2 minutes. Those delays work in favour of the attacking team, not the defending team. Sorry, the trailing team, not the leading team. But at the moment, every delay works for the team in the front, and that is the Regulators. 3 goals to 1. They fire the puck in from the point. They found connection. Levy tried to get a shot away. Puck loose. Ashton picked it up after a rebound, bobbled out high in the slot. Levy had a bit of a chance there, but with a nice tip in from the shot. But there was numbers there for the Regulators, and they closed it down in the end. It looks like that may have been Jacobs who was trying to get that puck. With a 0 and a 0-0. I'm not sure how that gets through the scoring system, but anyway, they are playing Shenanigans. I guess they've got to live up to your name. Now the Regulators just chip it up, trying to get it out of the zone. Didn't have much on it, but bounces off a few feet. Just trying to find a connection there was Parsons, but Shenanigans end up with the puck, but they lose it. Ong chooses to dump it across and back into his own zone. An interesting choice. Levy now tries to pick it up and battle with the puck in the corner. Regulators fire it up the boards. They don't clear the zone. Kept him nicely, Levy. Another shot on the net, saved by Ashton. Ashton has been superb throughout these 2 periods. Just now under 6 minutes to play in the third. Pavel with a chance there to get a shot away. It's stuck down at his feet. He's trying to get something on it. He's trying to get it past the outstretched pad of Ashton, who watched it into the corner. So the Shenanigans really started to pour on the pressure, but the Regulators get the clearance. You can see they're passing wisely, even though he possibly had a chance for a breakaway. Took the change. Now the Shenanigans in the hand of Lesev dumps the puck up to Rafe, but the Regulators clear it out. Brotherton looking for movement. He's got nothing. Gets around the checker. Levy gets onto his forehand. Tries to just get through. It's down at his feet. Toe drag. Puck loose. Shenanigans crash into each other. They've been a little bit disorganised this period. Just battling on the boards there. Moody was just keeping them pinned in. Now here comes a shot into the slot. It's saved just by Yan. Not quite sure where the puck there was. Calabria had lost sight of it. Tries to get past Hall. Hall gets something in the way. Chips it in again. Nice chip there, Daniel Hall. Puck in the corner will be picked up by 11. Clock ticking for under 5 minutes now to play. Goes very dangerously across the front of the net, but gets away with it on that occasion as Drew now tries to toe drag. Gets onto his forehand, gets around the check, but the shot in the end ineffective. Puck out again in the slot. But Ashton is there with help from his D, and they shut it down. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third and final period. Watch for the Shenanigans to pull the goaltender off the ice. At some point they're going to need to do it. Give themselves a chance. Norma Yan skating up and just having a chat with the bench, saying, watch for this, guys, I'm going to come off in a hurry if I need to. Shenanigans pulling their D right in close. Brave to do that. And Regulators look to break it up, and they find beautifully Anderson. Anderson gets on his forehand, shoots, goes wide. Watch harmlessly there. Kananga now picks it up, but it's being battled on the boards and loses possession. Played it back though to Kananga, now has possession and room. Chips up the ice, manages to get past the feet of Wonders. It's gone in deep for an icing. Having to race back to get it first was Paola, who won the race and brought it back for an icing. with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Great work by him. The Shenanigans could have wiped off the icing if they got there first, but Paola saw the threat, hit the afterburners, and back he went at full gas. So we've got a timeout now, and it's been called by the Shenanigans, so they get 1 minute to have a little chat. The Regulators with that 2-goal lead with just 3.5 minutes to play. We will go to stop time with 2 minutes to go, but at the moment, every stoppage apart from the example at the moment of this timeout, which is 1 minute of happy chat. They're trying to work out what they're going to do. They wouldn't be expecting this. I don't think they've been in this position throughout the entire season, the Shenanigans. They were well and truly on top of the ladder, almost unbackable favourites at the start of this game, but by golly, the Regulators have shown them a thing or two about how to play hockey. And they've been consistent and fast and aggressive on their forecheck, and they've taken their chances when they were there. 24 shots on the net to the Regulators, 23 Shenanigans. It's been pretty even. Jan has not done a bad job in the net at all for the Shenanigans, but he's been exposed on a few occasions, whereas Ashton has, relatively speaking, had less challenging saves to have to make. There's been a couple of good ones that he's done. You expect goaltenders to do that during grand finals. It's often said that attack wins seasons, defence wins series, goaltenders win finals. We will see. With 3 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the third, the Regulators looking for the upset of the series. Just trying to chip the puck through was Clark, but he was blocked nicely by Morton, who got a stick in bits and pieces. Kananga now looks up ice, tries to find Drew, chips it in, racing now to pick it up though Camilleri, who just breaks up the momentum with a beautiful poke check. Now the Regulators coming back the other way, but they only get it as far as Bird, who chips it in, finds Kananga. Kananga with a bit of room, tries to get around the check, but runs into a wall instead. Has another chance now. Still has the puck, losing instead, and Camilleri clears it out of the zone, forcing all of the Regulators to touch up. Maybe not aware that he was offside there, it was Ben Drew. As now the Regulators trying to clear the puck out of their zone. They don't manage to clear it though. Shenanigans get a shot away. Camilleri, battling there, just trying to protect his goaltender in Ashton, who made the save. See this one on the top-down camera. It came in, there was a bit of a rebound. Puck loose, but in the end there was enough Regulators back there to stop it being dangerous. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Will be stop time in 20 seconds. At the moment the clock's ticking, but after 2 minutes to go the clock will stop every break. As the Shenanigans need to get their lines organised. Too many players on. Still been good for Regulators. Regulators clear the puck out of the zone, forcing all of the Shenanigans to turn back around again. 2 minutes now, the time. They have pulled the goalie, Norma Yan, off the rink, so they've gone 6 on 5, the Shenanigans. So all that has to happen now for the Regulators is an empty netter, but they're going to be 6 on 4 now. Now that actually opens up a very interesting situation. Ricky Kindle will have to sit too. So it's now 6 on 4, but where that gets interesting is previously with stop time, if the Regulators dump the puck down the other end, it's brought back for a defensive zone face-off for them, which allows the Shenanigans to put loads of pressure on them. Now, if the Regulators dump the puck down at the other end, if they get any possession, they can fire it at the goal, and if it doesn't go in, it doesn't cost them anything. It will continue to run down the clock. Speaking of clock running down, it should have stopped. But anyway, so now the Regulators have possession. All they need to do is fire it down the other end and try and score a goal. And there'll be no comeuppance, and they do exactly that. They just dump it down. There's no icing because they're on the penalty kill. They can do that all day, or at least for the remaining 1 minute and 30 seconds. But now here they come with numbers. Kananga, the goal scorer from earlier, gets on his forehand, shoots, but he's blocked nicely. Nice stick work by the Regulators, who know what they have to do. They've just got to clear the puck out. Ong tries to chip it up high, dancing with the devil with making sure he doesn't go too high. Shot fired in from Jacobs, but it goes wide. Now the puck in the slot once more, just trying to get a cheeky backhand, but it's flung out all the way by the Regulators. They send the puck all the way to Moe. And because they've on the penalty kill, they can get away with it. The clock does not stop. Kananga now has possession. He's forced to pass by Brotherton. Puck coming back in now, getting on the forehand and shot score. Ashton the save, second save, but doesn't make the third one. Goal scored by the Shenanigans. See exactly who got this. It was a bit messy. There's the first shot on the net and the rebound, and the second rebound on the third one was dumped in. Couldn't see the player's number on his back, but it'll show up on the system at some point. So that takes us to 1 goal the difference. 45.8 seconds to play in the game. Regulators now not on the penalty kill. There'll be 5 on 5. Will the Shenanigans and the Regulators now have called a timeout, as is their right. So they will stop the clock for a minute. More discussion occurring between the officials and the Regulators captain. So 45 seconds to go on the timeout. 27 shots now, the Shenanigans, 24 to the Regulators. So the Shenanigans have tipped the ice back the other way. But Ashton has been up to the task, and the Regulators' defence has forced the shots mostly to be from bad angles and giving him some pretty good saving chances. So we will have 20 seconds to go on the timeout. At the end of this, we'll have 45.8 seconds of play in this grand final. The Shenanigans, if they can get another goal and they can force overtime, it will then go to 5 minutes of sudden death, 3 on 3, which is a lot of real estate, a lot of movement. It's all about puck possession at that point. The Regulators, well, they don't need to do anything silly. They just need to get the puck out. Watch for Norman Yan to leave the ice reasonably quickly after the face-off when he sees who wins it. And the Shenanigans will probably go 6 on 5 again. This time, the Regulators without the advantage of being able to dump it down the other end with impunity. And we will have the puck underway. Puck is dropped. Won by the Regulators, by the Shenanigans, as Kananga now goes in. Norman Yan leaves the ice again to go 6 on 5. Puck behind the back of the net for the Shenanigans. Kananga lost sight of it briefly. I was lying on the ground. The Regulators play it back up to their point. He winds, flings it up high, bounces off just about everything except the twine at the back of the net. 25 seconds now to play. Second shot in from a distance, but it hits a Regulator body, and they try and poke check the puck out, and they do. They can't just dump it at random, but they can try and score goals. A nice, beautiful piece of stick work there. A beautiful poke by Moody. Moody putting pressure on. Richard now has the puck, turns, puts it towards the net. It goes just a fraction wide. No icing though. Quite sure why the Shenanigans are a little bit concerned about that one. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And the Regulators, against the form of the season, have given the Shenanigans their first defeat of the entire season in the last game, and the one that counts is the grand final. Regulators 3, Shenanigans 2. What an outstanding game. It was thrilling all the way to the finish. The Shenanigans gave themselves a really good chance, pulled the goalie, tried everything they could. The Regulators were up to the task. Hands out, lights out performance by Rick Ashton in the net for the Regulators, who made a stunning 26 saves in that game. So an outstanding game there for the Regulators, who took it off the Shenanigans, who probably thought they were foregone conclusions. They didn't lose a game all season except for this one. They were on a winning trot of 12, but this one, the Regulators take it 3 goals to 2. Thank you very much for being with us for the coverage of this Division 3 Grand Final here at iceHQ. We'll be back for you in about half an hour with the Div 2 Grand Final between the Rebels and the Arctic Thunder. Bring it on.